Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome back to part 4 of our Monster Slayer photo composite series. You know, when I first started this piece, I was like, oh, it's going to be a quick piece. It's only going to be like 3, maybe 4 videos, but now I'm realizing that it's going to be like 5 or 6, or maybe more. It depends how crazy I get with the details, depends how long the background takes, but we're probably looking at about 6 videos, I'm gonna guess right now. So in this video, I think I'm gonna work on more like smaller nitpicky details on her suit. Now her clothes are like more or less done, but I still want to add a bunch of little details here and there. I always add like little ornate details on my stuff. The first thing I'm gonna fix is, you see this pocket here on her pants? That kind of implies that it's more, it's like a more modern pants style. So I think I'm gonna get rid of that pocket. Let me just go to my pants layer. And actually, I was thinking of, instead of just getting rid of this pocket, maybe I can just grab this section here. And copy that, paste that. Gotta duplicate that layer style. Flip it to that. And duplicate that color overlay. And take that bottom half of the pocket and just flip that. Just rotate it this way. And just cover the top part of the pocket. So instead of like a pocket, it just looks like some sort of extra panel on her pants, like some sort of reinforcement panel. I don't know. It's just another way to add some more little details to the piece. So let's just warp that a little bit. And let's go to that and just mask the top of the pocket out. Oop. Took a little too much. But over here, you really don't see it, so I'm not going to worry about that one over there. So, and another little nitpicky thing I want to do is the buttons on her coat. They look a little modern, like they're probably made out of plastic. So I'm going to replace these buttons with something metal. Again, that's a very little nitpicky thing that no one's probably going to notice, but I'm going to notice it. So I'm going to change it. So I got this thing. This is a button, I guess, with like a lion head on it. And it probably doesn't matter what's on this button, because again, you're probably not going to see it because it's going to be so small, but I just want to replace it with something metal. Let's paste that in. Ah, look. It's layer 69. I'm very immature. And let's just distort this so it generally fits over that old button. And let's do some layer styles. First, let's do a bevel. Gonna have the light coming from over here. And do a drop shadow. So actually, let's just duplicate that and put it over here. And let's just darken that one up because that one's in shadow. So let's just duplicate that one more time. And we'll just flip that horizontal. But I gotta change up that bevel so the light's coming from the other direction. So let's change that up. So she's wearing a scarf around her face, and I want to put the kind of the tail end of that scarf behind her, like maybe like flowing in the wind back here or over here, maybe down here. I don't know. Got to kind of play around with it a little bit. So let's grab a scarf photo. And gonna use this one here with this guy's wig flying off. And I can probably just select this through the channels like we do the hair. So let's try that. So let's copy our red layer, or our red channel. And let's just lighten up all this stuff right here. Alright, so that should give us a good selection. Alright, so let's load that selection. Copy, paste. And just put in a solid fill behind it so we can just see how it looks. Yeah, it's good. We got a little bit of that blue on the edge, but we can get rid of that pretty easily. So I'm just going to go to my layer styles and do an inner glow of this red sample. And I'm going to put that on lighten. Or color, actually. Put it on color. And that'll get rid of that blue glow. Just going to drag that in. So I need to change the color a little bit to match the scarf on her face. The scarf on her face is a little more, has a little more magenta in it. So see if we can just go to hue and turn that down. Yeah, that matches pretty good now. I just gotta kind of play around with where I want it now. I can, like maybe just right there. Like maybe that's good. Or let's try flipping it the other way. See how that looks. Maybe more down here, like that. So it kind of fits in that little space down there. Maybe like right there, because it kind of like goes along with the curve of her jacket and her leg, and that's kind of nice. I don't know. Let's keep it there for now. Let's not waste too much time fiddling with the scarf position. We can always move it later. So let's go back to her hair. And since the last video, if you remember, I wasn't super happy with this section here, but I did do a little more work on it in between videos, and I just painted in some more hairs, and I think it's looking a lot better now. If I just turn off these two layers, you can kind of see all the hairs I painted in. So you can see it's a little messy, but with all like the hairs I painted in, it's a little cleaner. So I'm liking it much better now. But I'm still not totally sure about this back section here. It for some reason it kind of bothers me, like the way it's all in like one big chunk here. So I'm gonna try adding another picture back there for the windswept hair. So let's grab this one here. And I'm just thinking this one might work a little better for us. So let's try it out. So I'm just gonna grab like a big chunk of this hair. Just like we did last time, go into the channels. Go into our reds, pump up the blacks, pump up the whites. All right, so let's select that. And let's just turn off that back hair layer for now. So where's that layer? We'll just turn that off for now. And I think I'm liking that more already. Like I prefer the more separated out individual wisps of hair over that like big chunk of hair. So I'm still gonna use that other piece of hair, but I'm just gonna have it probably just fade into this one. So let's turn that back on. And this probably should go like in the back. behind the jacket even. So we still have some like some of our black background here, so we definitely want to get rid of that. Now let's brighten all that up. All right, so let's turn that other section back on. And let's just mask the edge of that one off. I don't want to completely get rid of that section, but I just wanted to have it fade in to the new section. There. All right, I think that I definitely like that better. Before, I don't know, for some reason that just big chunk of hair right here, like this big wedge of hair bothered me, and yeah, I just think that looks better. All right, so now I'm gonna add some more elements to her belt. I think I might add some like second belts and maybe some sort of pouches and whatnot hanging off from her belt. So let's do that next. And I got this picture, and I think this looks pretty cool with this design and this belt. So let's clip this out. All right, so let's paste that in, and I guess that should go right about there. Maybe we can just warp it so it looks like it's hanging off her other belt. Let's mask that edge off. And I'm just going to do a color layer over that. Just going to tone down this color a little bit. It's getting a little too saturated. And now let's paint some shadows underneath it. And let's go back and erase some of those. All right, so I think that'll work. I was a little iffy about it at first. It wasn't quite looking right, but I changed up the colors a little bit. I darkened some areas up, I lightened some areas up, and I painted in the shadow, and I think it's fitting in there a lot better. So I feel better about it now. Because when I first stuck it in there, I was like, ugh, I'm not sure if this is gonna work. But I'm thinking it looks pretty good. I think we can use this. Alright, so I think I want to give her like some sort of necklaces. Or some sort of like amulets hanging from her neck. So let me just... Where's that picture? Where is that picture? There it is. Alright, lost it. So I got this picture here. It's like this green gem in like some old looking wrapped up wire. So I'm gonna grab this and turn it into some like amulet she's wearing on her neck. All right. So let's bring that in. Probably want that like above her jacket layer. And we're gonna flip that. Let's see. Don't want it too big. You know what, let's just put it right about there. I mean, there's no wrong answer where this could be. It's kind of like the scarf. I mean, I could just do this forever and like, maybe there, maybe there, maybe there. But for the sake of just not making this video too long, let's just stick it right about there. And if I want to move it later, I can always do that. So I'm gonna make a new layer and just take a sample out of here. And I think I'm just gonna draw in like the straps that go around her neck for the amulet. So just one like up there and one like up there. And maybe put a bevel on that. Bring that edge up. All right, so I'm gonna duplicate all of that, flatten it out. So now I have a flattened copy of my amulet. And I'm gonna go to my levels, just completely, oh, that's the wrong way, completely darken that out. And put that on multiply. Just blur that out a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. And now we got like a shadow layer. So I want the shadow closer up next to the straps because it's closer to her skin, and here it's swinging out a little bit, so it's going to be a little farther from her body. And let's put a mask on that. Just lighten some of that up. And the shadow section on her skin is a little too gray, so let's make a selective color adjustment layer. Just go into our blacks and turn down the cyans. Yeah, that way it's a little more of a natural skin tone shadow. And I might want to add in one more necklace. So we got this like crescent moon thing that I kind of like, so although I'm not sure if there's any easy way to get all these chain links. Let's see what we can do. Let's just clip out the main section. All right, so we got our main part clipped out. But I really don't want to clip out every single chain link with pen tool, so let's see if we can just select that in an easier way. That's not going to drive us insane. Or take forever. So let's see if we can just go to our channels. See, the problem with going to the channels is the chain is mostly white on a dark background, but there's a lot of darker parts to the chain. So I'm not sure how well this will work, but we'll give it a try. I mean, it's going to be a really small part of the picture, so if the selection around a chain is imperfect, then it shouldn't be a big deal. But as long as we can generally get the parts we want, it should look fine. Alright, so let's select that and see what kind of result we get. Hopefully it's a good one. Yeah, it's not bad. Like, you can see in here, it didn't get some of the darker parts of the chain. Like, you can tell there's some spots missing, but you know what? I think it's going to be so small on the picture, on the final picture, that you're not even going to notice it. So I think we should be good. All right, so let's merge those two layers and bring them in here, right next to our amulet. And let's put that behind our amulet. So I'm thinking maybe with this one we can just do a straight up drop shadow. That might be enough. Take a sample out of her skin. So let's make a new layer. And let's try like soft light. And just darken up some of that chain. And maybe just darken up the whole amulet. I mean, yeah, you barely even see that chain from this far out, so I think we're good. Although I'm thinking the whole thing is a little too bright. Yeah, it's better. Now, I don't want to go crazy with adding details to her, because, I mean, I could sit here forever all night and just keep adding little trinkets and knickknacks and changing up little tiny things, but I don't want to go too crazy on her costume. Well, it's not a costume, but her dress, her clothing, whatever. Yeah, so I can very quickly get to the point where I'm just I'm adding like too many details to her. So I don't want to go overboard with little like trinkets and knickknacks and crazy little details. So before I end the video, I just want to move on to one more thing, and that is this goofy looking head. We've been staring at this head for like 4 videos now, and I need to do something about it. Now, originally I thought I would have to replace the entire face with something else, but I'm actually thinking I could probably just change up this face to get it to look more like a creepy vampire. So let's work on that next. And I think the first thing that's going to help make this head look less goofy is I need to just liquefy the face and change up the facial expression. So let's do that. All right, so let's go into liquefy and change up this goofy head. I want to say maybe make the eyebrows a little pointed down more and turn down the mouth more. I mean, I don't know if she should have like an angry face on because she's dead. So maybe just like a neutral dead face will be fine. So let's try that. That's better. That's the first step into making her not look goofy. So next, I'm gonna clip out her eyes and change up those. Get that one. Get this one. So we got our eyes selected. Put those on a separate layer. I'm just going to darken them all the way up. I want to make them mostly black, but I also want to keep the highlights so they still have that wetness to them. So I want to keep these little highlights in there. And I want to keep these highlights right there and right there and these over here. You know what, let's turn that saturation down. That'll help us out a lot. Alright, so let's see how that looks. Yeah. That's already more creepy, so we're already on the right path. So I want to change her complexion to make it a lot more pale and like ghostly. So let's put a selective color. Let's go to our reds. Maybe turn down our yellows. Yeah, that's starting to look more ghoulish. And let's go our hue saturation and turn our saturation down. I think that'll help us. Yeah, that'll help us out a lot to get that look. Yeah, that's a lot better. That's good. And let's do a soft light layer. Maybe do like some dark circles under her eyes. Yeah. She's definitely getting creepy. She's definitely getting creepy. And creepy is what we want. Maybe like pump up her cheekbones just to make her look a little more like skeletal and gaunt. Put a little more emphasis on the wrinkles in her forehead. And you know what? Let's also liquefy one more thing. She already has like a widow's peak here, so let's really emphasize that to give her like a cliche like vampire Eddie Munster widow's peak. Yeah, that's good. All right. Looking a little too purple, maybe, huh? You know what? I think maybe we should just turn down our selective color adjustments a little bit. And I want to make her lips look a little more pale, so I'm gonna clip those out. And now let's adjust those lips so there's a little more pale. Yeah, that's good. It's a little more grotesque looking. And so you know she's a vampire. Take a sample out of her teeth, and let's just paint in some fangs. Like one right there, and one like right there. And just darken them where they go underneath the lip. So just like right there and right there. Yeah, that's good. And let's also make the ears kind of like creepy and pointy and big. That'll help make her look like a monster. So let's cut our ears out separately. And let's copy all those adjustments. Clip it to that ear. All right, so. I want to give her just like big pointed elf Spock type earlobes. Like something like that. Alright. You're definitely looking more vampire-like. And maybe I can just use this ear for the other side too. Because there's not really much going on there to work with, so. And we'll just flatten that back to our head more. Like that. Yeah, that's good. And we're going to lighten this one up a little more because there's more light coming on this side. And we'll put a mask on the head, and I'm just going to blend that with the other ear, like so. So I think we can do more to make it look creepy. So let's make a new layer, put it on soft light. Let's get like a blue color. And maybe make that a little smaller. And maybe we could like paint in some blue veins. Too big maybe. Let's keep them on soft light. And then let's blur them out a little bit. And just erase some of those hard edges. But maybe darken them up a little bit. Yeah. That's better. That's more vein-like. Yeah, that's definitely a lot better. So let me just get a sample out of that color. And let's make another one of those layers, but let's get some thinner, more spidery veins. Like on her nose, and her forehead, underneath her eyes. Just very loosely painting those in. Let's blur those out. That's too much. Maybe just blur more. And let's go with and just erase them out a little bit so they're not so cartoonish looking. Yeah, I like those. The veins really make it look more just like ghastly and gross, which is what we want. And I think I want to make the circles around her eyes even darker, so let's do another one of those color overlays. Make it even worse. That's too much. I'm gonna have to turn that down. That is too much. All right, so our character is pretty much done. I might add a few more details here and there, but I think it's 95% there. Again, our vampire head almost done, and we just really need to add in the background. And honestly, I'm still not totally sure what I'm gonna do for the background. I still need to figure that out. I still need to play around with some things, but for now, I'm gonna call it a night. So again, thank you for watching and take care.